Alright, I don't have many accomplishments in my life, so I have to take the small accomplishments and settle for those. My accomplishment now is that I managed to save up 10,000 gold in Hearthstone. Now, for many Hearthstone players, that may not be a lot of gold, but I don't have a lot of time, and I have to take my small accomplishments what I can. Now, typically, when I'm streaming on Sundays, I like to share my stories about my life. But sadly, this Sunday, I didn't get the chance to stream, so I didn't get to share my stories. And since there's no gaming news of really any importance right now, I figured I will make this video and I'll share a story with you. So today, I will share with you the story of my first kiss. And it is some shite, I will tell you that. So let's begin. Now, as for a bit of context, this is about a year and a half before I graduated from high school. You see, in my younger days, I had this friend named Merrin, and Merrin had a very, very attractive sister and a attractive girlfriend. Now, of course, with me being the devil child of Satan, I'm still not the type of man to go after his friend's girl. Bro code and all that. But brother's code doesn't exactly prohibit one from dating the sister of his friend now, does it? So, with me being the smooth Casanova of 16 years of age that I thought I was, I strode up to her, looked her dead in her eyes, and said, "Cassie, my dearest, sweetest love, show me your tits, right? Show me your fucking tits!" Now, some of you may be thinking, smooth move, Casanova. But you have to understand that that was the younger version of me from days gone by, and I didn't exactly understand the delicacies of forming a relationship, and me asking her to get her tits out was my truest form of sincerity in expressing to her how I truly felt. Now, needless to say, she shot me down, and she said she wasn't interested. So, with a crushed heart, I went back inside and played Tekken with Merlin on his PlayStation. Which didn't really help much because Merlin's girlfriend had been over all that day, and after I went back inside to get my ass whooped in Tekken, I could clearly hear Cassie telling Jessie on how she shot me down. So now I'm embarrassed, and I'm sure tomorrow that this shite is going to be all over my schoolyard. And of course, the next day, it was. And I quickly got the nickname in school of Tits Out McGee. So, that was fun. Anyway, obviously now I'm a bit more sensitive after bearing my heart out to a girl and have her stomping on that. And I noticed that Cassie and Jessie have somehow managed to bond over me getting my ass shot down. And now are hanging together around school. And every time I go over to Merlin's house to practice my Tekken, Jessie is always in Cassie's room, being all girly and doing girly shit. And of course, I think to myself, well, isn't that fucking great? I'm happy I could bring those two together. Fuck my life. Anyway, during one of my Tekken matches, I asked Merlin why his girl is always with his sister and not with him. And of course he tells me, "Nah man, Jessie and her do all their girly stuff together, so I won't have to wait in line holding their bags and shite." Now, of course, I'm young, and I'm thinking to myself, that's fucking brilliant, isn't it? He doesn't have to be out there in some shoe department store for hours holding his girl's bags of fucking clogs. Because if I was in that situation, I wouldn't dig my eyes out. So, of course, now I'm jealous. And not only do I have a dry dick, but Merlin's sister is literally running wingman for them. Anyway, on one of the other days that we were over there, a thunderstorm came in, and there was no way for me to be able to go home because it was raining just far too hard. So I called my mom and told her, hey, I'm going to be spending the night over Merlin's house. And Jessie did the same because, well, her parents weren't coming to get her either. So she told her that she was just going to stay the night and enjoy Cassie's company. Because Cassie had spent the night over her house a couple of times. So, around 4 o'clock in the morning, after a night of binging on Doritos, Surge Energy Drink, and practicing my Tekken really, really hard, I wake up from my sleep to go and take a piss, right? And when I get close to Cassie's room, I hear a bit of squeaking and I hear a bit of moaning. So, with me being the expert Zhao player that I am, I crouch down low into my crane stance. And as I begin to sneak towards the door and turning the doorknob, the little moaning begins to get louder and begins to be more whoo, shit like that, right? And then I finally open the door and it breaks open just a little bit so I can see inside. And what the fuck do I see but Cassie's firm, round, perfect ass in the air with her face planted firmly between Jesse's legs. And my eyes are wide and my dick is getting hard as I'm realizing I'm seeing real lesbian action in the flesh. It was amazing. I mean, I must have stayed glued to that creak in the door for like half an hour, just watching those girls perform some of the most beautiful acts I've ever seen in my life. Breasts, bottoms, and lips whirling around each other in a sort of sexual ballet. And when they finally finished, I stumbled back to Marion's room and laid down in my knapsack on the floor with what has to be to this day the hardest cock I've ever mustered, spending pretty much the whole night thinking only of them. Trust me, the next day there was not enough tissue paper to be found. Needless to say though, the next morning I was like a fucking zombie, sitting at the table for my morning supper while Miss Marley were there to serve us breakfast and toast. But no matter what I did, I couldn't stop thinking about the girls who were in front of me and what I had seen the previous night. And after breakfast, Miss Marley said that my mother was coming to pick me up. So afterwards, I would go outside and I would sit on the steps and I would be just waiting for my mother to come pick me up. And after a few minutes, Cassie came out, tugging at her running shoes, which makes sense because that perfect ass of hers that I had thought about so much and that I had mentioned before was the result of all her damn running and the squats that she did because she was on the running team. While passing me on the steps, she stops, rubs my head, and jumps down to the steps and says, "Hey, Mr. Tits Out, you want to go running with me or are you waiting for your mommy to pick you up?" Now, it is at this time that I wanted to tell the saucy cunt to go fuck herself, but I realized that after last night's display, she was going to be getting more pussy than I was anytime soon, and plus the added fact that I was so tired from not sleeping the previous night, I just waved my hand in an offhanded gesture to get her to leave me alone. Now, what happened next? She jumped. No. I remember she shrugged her shoulders and began to stretch and said the most unbelievable thing to me. She said, "So, did you like what you saw last night, Runner?" Now, while I was still in zombie mode, I figured I had heard her wrong like an idiot, and I just said, "Huh?" And she says, "I saw you in the door last night looking at us." And once again, I responded with, "Huh? Huh?" Now, it is at this moment, I'm pretty sure you can tell that I was really on my game here. So her, I'm guessing out of frustration with my witty repartee, takes a few steps forward, looks me dead in the eyes, and says, "So, Mr. Tits Out, how did I look now that you've finally seen me with my tits out? And if you say, 'huh,' one more time, I'm gonna slap you." And of course, I responded with the smartest comeback that I could form at that time, which of course was, "Huh?" And after I saw her raise her hand against me, I raised my hand to block my face, saying, I mean, good. You look sexy. You both look really sexy." And after a moment of silence, I dropped my hands, and she's still staring at me in the face, looking so damn sexy and smelling so damn good. And she says, "I guess that's the best I'm going to get from Mr. Tits Out." After which, she grabs my face and plants the strongest kiss on me and holding it for like 5 seconds before pulling away and giving me a playful slap on my face with both hands and running off, only to stop for a second to say, "Don't forget to tell your mother I said hello," and then taking off once again for her run, and of course leaving me with my famous words of, "Huh? Go." Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if this story was interesting, but this is the story of my first kiss. No childhood sweetheart, no back of the school love, no I'm kissing you when I'm 5 years old because we're just little babies and we don't understand that. No perfect anything. Just some crazy lesbian chick who was also banging her brother's girlfriend. Welcome to my shitty life, where it only got weirder and stranger from that day forward. You all take care, and beware the crazy lesbians that may be roaming your fucking streets. Ugh.